This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. I've been doing executive coaching for a long time. That's where I work with an executive to help them navigate tricky problems, develop stronger leadership skills, understand their business better, and so on. Often, we strategize about how they can handle tricky situations with other people. One of my clients will be having trouble with Charlie, and I ask, "Have you talked to Charlie about the problem?" And they say, "Well, I mentioned it to Ashley and Ryan and Skylar, Mackenzie, Leslie, and Carrie, but no, I haven't actually talked to Charlie about it." And I say, "Talk to Charlie." Why haven't they ever talked to Charlie? Well, long ago, our lives were short and brutish. If you met another proto-human at the watering hole, they might pound you over the head with a stick until you were dead, just like in 2001: A Space Odyssey. So gradually, we evolved the ability to figure out what's going on in other people's brains. This ability is called theory of mind. In other words, your theory of what's going on in their mind. Even though our adorable little tykes learn to say no by the time they're 3, theory of mind is much slower to develop. Like it used to take 15 to 20 years, and now that we have digital natives who spend their childhood clicking the like button instead of interacting face-to-face, it probably takes 25 to 30 years. According to the research of MIT professor Rebecca Sachs, theory of mind even has its very own brain region. It's about the size of a dime. So our dime-sized theory of mind is trying to figure out what's going on in someone else's full-sized brain. You can imagine it's going to have to take some shortcuts. Remember that theory of mind came from wanting not to get hit on the head by a stick. So when you only have room for a dime-sized understanding of what someone else is thinking, paranoia is a good choice. Because when it comes to not getting hit on the head by a stick, it's safer to assume the worst. There's only one problem, though. We don't live near watering holes anymore. We live in societies that pipe water to us. That requires cooperation and lots of it. But our brains haven't caught up. So what happens is that we're confused, or we don't know something, or we don't understand why someone did what they did, or why they reacted the way they did. Our theory of mind tells us, "Don't talk to them about it. They'll hit you with a stick and steal your water." So we don't. We talk to everyone else instead. Today's tip, very simple. Talk to them. Talk to give feedback. Last night, Schmoopy and I were at a restaurant and the waitress was wearing a very strong scent. It was ruining our meal. We didn't know what to do until finally we realized, talk to them. "Excuse me, your service is excellent and the scent that you're wearing is a little overpowering to the meal, so you might want to wear a bit less of it in the future." There was no stick. There was no stealing of water. The waitress appeared to take it well. Mission accomplished. Of course, we only gave the feedback after our food had been delivered, just because. Talk to ask for feedback. Rather than assuming that your assessment of your own work is correct, find your boss and talk to them. "I think that arranging the entire shelf of toothpaste containers in the logo of a dissident Tibetan rebel faction makes a powerful political statement that I'm proud to be associated with. Don't you agree?" Your boss may not, and you want to know that. By finding out sooner rather than later, you can take corrective action if you've done something wrong. Talk to verify deal terms. How common is it that we have a handshake deal? "I'll deliver 10 55-gallon drums to your backyard at midnight next Saturday, no questions asked." But we leave some part of the terms unspecified. The drums get delivered, and then when you ask for immediate payment, your client's eyes get very wide, and they get a very peculiar grin, and they say, "Certainly, let me go inside and get my axe. Checkbook." Next time, talk to them. Simply say, "Before I drop off the drums, let's review the deal terms. It's payment in cash on delivery, right?" Talk to verify consequences. Sometimes we just assume that we know the consequences of a course of action, and we're a bit afraid to ask, just to be sure. Like that time you agreed to that little project in Area 51, and you just assumed that you wouldn't have to give up your friend's family and identity and enter the witness protection program afterwards. Whoops. Talk to them. "Before I sign on the dotted line," and why does the signature have to be in blood anyway? "Let's just verify that after the project is over, I get to go back to my life and pick up right where I left off." Talk to verify boundaries. Sometimes you're given responsibility and authority without clear boundaries. Your boss will say, "Go find us more business." You land Superman's Fortress of Solitude construction deal. Oh yeah, but it turns out your boss isn't a comic book fan and doesn't like to work for superheroes. "Too full of themselves," says your boss. You innocently overstepped a boundary. Talk to them. "I'm happy to go find business, boss. Is there any category of contract that I should pass on? Companies that pollute, oppressive governments, maybe superheroes?" And talk when you have feels. How do you know when to talk to them? When you have feelings. When you're nervous or you're uncertain or you're upset, when you find yourself not wanting to talk to someone, take a moment and examine why. You might be nervous about feedback, about consequences, about deal terms, or about boundaries. Ask yourself who you can talk to and have the conversation you need to clarify what it is you're dealing with. This sounds like common sense, and this is common sense. And nevertheless, it's one of the most common roadblocks I find when coaching people. Your theory of mind makes conversations scary, but you can override your theory of mind. And when you have a problem with Charlie, make sure Charlie doesn't have a big stick to hit you with, and then talk to Charlie. Not Ashley, not Ryan, not Skylar, not Mackenzie, not Leslie, not Carrie, just Charlie. Talk to Charlie. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I run programs to help people develop the skills they need to create an extraordinary life. If you want to know more, visit steverrobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. You'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.